Hello everybody, Brad here today and welcome to an interesting video. Today we're going to have a look through all of the pictures and all of the current information that we know about the brand new DLC that's coming out for Project Hospital. The DLC which is the Department of Infectious Diseases. So very much looking forward to seeing this come out. So I believe we heard about this kind of beginning of July, but we knew something was coming because they're very cheeky over there at Oxymoron Games, and they always post out a few bits on Twitter, a few pictures that get us all excited. So we've known for a while, I think, kind of what was coming. So the release date of this DLC is going to be August 2020, as you can see here. So not long, guys. We haven't got an exact date yet, but that is not long. That is next month. I'm recording this today on the 22nd, so that's not that long away. So let's take a look. So we're going to have a look at all of these pictures in turn in more detail. Well, let's have a look here. Have we got anything here that's interesting? All about this content. Okay, so from exotic diseases to worldwide pandemics, find and treat the most dangerous cases at a new department. It's going to be worth saying, guys, please consider subscribing down below if you haven't already, because I'm going to be covering this DLC extensively on the channel as soon as it comes out. So if you don't want to miss a thing, make sure to subscribe down below. So let's continue with this. Project Hospital, Department of Infectious Diseases, contains 65 different diagnoses and comes with all the specialised equipment needed to treat them. Transfer your patients to an isolation ward and make sure you prevent a potential outbreak. You can control in which areas of the hospital your staff will need to wear masks, and infectious patients will be even transported on special stretchers. We'll see that in those pictures. New events focused on the department bring some extra challenge. For example, a big wave of COVID-19 patients. The DLC also comes with more content, including a new ambulance and a new sandbox level. So before we move on to the pictures, this bit is interesting. This bit here. More content, including a new ambulance. Now on the forums, on their roadmap, I'll link the forum down below. There is mention of helicopters coming to the game. I wonder if they're being cheeky with us again. I wonder if they're being cheeky and this new ambulance can in fact be a helicopter. Who knows? Right, so let's take a better look at these pictures in full screen. Okay, so first what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at all of the pictures on Steam. So this is the first one, and this is one of my favourites. This looks so cool. And it's funny because in my Let's Plays, you know, like in the realistic series that we're doing at the moment, I always mention about how, to me, certain departments have certain colours, and I would also associate kind of microbiology, infectious disease with green. Isn't that weird? Right, so we can see here a brand new door. You know, that's the obvious first thing here. Look in the foreground. It's really nice, really obviously signed door. So we've got a sign here that says caution. I think my eyes aren't great. I think that says outbreak alert. And then we've got here on the right hand side it says quarantine. I think that looks like it says authorised personnel only. And obviously you've got the biohazard signs here with the icons as well. So that's really interesting. Now something I've noticed is this. So our two janitors here, I assume these are janitors because they're in orange, and I think this lady here has a brush or a mop. They're all wearing masks, same as this technician here in the microbiology lab. So I assume what this means is that staff will wear masks wherever they are needed to, and you can designate where you can say, you know, here you need to wear a mask, in this department or, you know, in this corridor you don't. I'm just interested to see that the staff are wearing masks but the patient isn't. I would have thought that what they would do is say that this whole area is masks, unless what they're saying is these janitors are going to be going into these labs, into this kind of isolation ward. This technician might be exposed to viruses, bacteria, you know, she might be exposed to some kind of microbiological threat. So that's why these guys might be wearing masks, but because the patient is kind of confined to that waiting room area, there's no risk in that area. Just something it's just something that I kind of picked up on. I might be talking utter rubbish. So as we go into the actual isolation ward, we can see a patient is in this bed over here. You can see a doctor or a nurse, I assume it's a doctor because they're in green scrubs, is attending to the patient. Now what I can see is that this here looks like a ventilator to me. That looks like a ventilator. It looks like she has also got that ventilation mask on her face, which is interesting because, as we know, we are getting diseases like H5N1, the COVID-19 is also in the game, and both of those, so H5N1 and COVID-19, they're very different viruses. COVID-19 is a coronavirus, and H5N1 is a type of influenza, but they both result in really poor respiratory symptoms. So most of them result in some kind of respiratory failure in the more severe cases. So that to me looks like a ventilator. Now over here we have some cupboards. I've seen it's like a little sink there, some more cupboards here. Not sure what this is. I'm interested to see what you guys think. I don't know what this is. Is it some kind of like, I don't know. What do you guys think this machine is here? I mean, you guys know a lot more than what I do, but I'm not sure about that. So this doorway here looks very interesting. So it looks like we've got some kind of like hand sanitizer here. We've got a kind of like a folder for folders, like a little box storage thing here where we can have some folders. Not sure what this is here. One of this could be like some kind of dispenser for tissues or something. And this to me looks like a negative pressure door. It looks like it's open at the moment, I believe. So not sure if you get like a glass shutter or anything there, but that looks like a negative pressure door. So then over here, it looks like we have looks like we've got some new monitors here. They look new. I think this is the same modern hospital bed, the same like socket thing up here, and then the wall defibrillator. The scrubs look the same. This looks like a nurse's station in the middle here. Everything looks the same here. No new items, but of course one of the most obvious ones here is this new stretcher. So these are really common when the patient has to be quarantined. So I assume this patient is suffering from an infectious disease, and hence if they, I assume there's some type of ventilation apparatus here as well. But what some stretchers have is this ventilation apparatus on the side, but also you have holes where you can go into the stretcher, and it has like a glove. So it means that you can, for example, if the patient started, to code out or something, you can perform CPR within those holes and not actually touch the patient, but you could still provide that healthcare to the patient. So that's the first picture. So let's move on to the second. Okay, so this is the second picture. Now, there's not too much new here, but what we can see, I can see a malaria poster just here with Africa. Looks like a mosquito. So that's really cool. So that's confirmed we've got new posters, which is awesome. I love a poster. And then we here have a patient that has collapsed. And everyone here is wearing a mask. I wonder if that means that this patient, we already suspect that he might be suffering from an infectious disease. Who knows? But it's quite interesting. So as we move here into the isolation ward, we can see a new whiteboard, which again looks awesome. I love new stuff like that. So that looks really cool. Now I've just wondered, do you reckon this here, is that somewhere where you can kind of hang up scrubs, any kind of clothing maybe that's come into contact with the patient? It looks like my wardrobe. It looks like a sci-fi wardrobe is what that looks like. That's kind of it though here. I don't think there's anything else. I'm pretty sure these are negative pressure doors. That's what they look like anyway. So that's it for this pitch. Let's move on. Okay, so I know within the game we have game events, and I believe one of them that you can select is a disease outbreak. So I imagine what this is, it's kind of tagging along to that. And what it's actually doing is when you select that disease outbreak, instead of patients just coming to your trauma centre, needing to be diagnosed, then going on to the relevant departments, now it means that these patients that come in via ambulance for this kind of event, might not all be ambulances, but it means that you're going to have a massive influx of patients which are going to need to have some kind of care from the Infectious Diseases Department. So that's really interesting. I can see that we have new benches, new chairs, which again look great. These always remind me of like train stations and bus stations, these type of chairs. Also interesting things, kind of something that I pointed out earlier, is the fact that this doctor, I believe, is again wearing a mask where no one else is. I just would have thought you've had a bit more of a hard divide between areas which need a mask and areas which don't need a mask. Don't know. Might just be me. But if this doctor needs to wear a mask in this area, then why aren't these patients wearing a mask? Don't know. Might just be me. Anyway, let's move on to the next picture. Now this picture is an interesting one because we get to see a patient card. So here we can see that the possible diagnoses here could be anything from the bubonic plague to H5N1 bird flu, malaria, COVID-19, Lassa fever, Nipah virus infection. So lots and lots this could be. So it's very interesting because Richard Harris, I assume it's not you, I assume it's behind this patient card, which is interesting because even if we expected it to be something like this, I imagine we would have quarantined that person already and actually got them to go straight to the Infectious Diseases Department. So it's going to be interesting to see how the game tries to mitigate that spread of the virus throughout the hospital, because I would not want this patient coming in here to an emergency doctor's office. So that'd be interesting. So then, like we have things like high fever, breathing problems, so it does sound like something like COVID-19, H5N1. So now I assume here under available examinations, we might have some new things. We might have some new like lab tests we can run maybe. We'll see. We'll see when it comes out, guys. But this is very, very interesting. Okay, so this is the last one on Steam, and what a cool hospital this looks. So I assume this is the brand new hospital that they were talking about when they said that they're going to add a new pre-built hospital into the game. And it looks really, really nice. I like this separate building, but having the bridges going across. That's something similar that we're doing in our realistic series at the moment. I'll link the playlist for that down below so you can check that out. I love this kind of emergency entry point over here. That looks really cool. It looks very realistic. Not a fan of the palm trees, but this might be a tropical hospital. Who knows, especially when we've got infectious diseases. But the hospital as a whole looks awesome. It looks really, really good. So I've got a couple more photos to show you, and these are from social media. So let's have a look at the first one. So this is the first picture from social media, and again it's kind of just highlighting this kind of stretcher here and the nurse wearing a mask. So not too much to see here, but again just a second kind of picture with seeing these stretchers. I will link the Project Hospital and Oxymoron Games Twitter, Facebook, all that kind of jazz down below in the comments, so you can go and check it out and keep updated. So this was one where they were teasing us, guys. They were teasing us with this one. So they brought this out, and I think the caption was something like, I wonder if this is a new department. Yeah, they're teasers over there at Oxymoron Games. But again, so we kind of knew what was going to be coming. It's obvious with the biohazard, the nurse there wearing a mask. So yeah, not much new to see here other than the door and nurses wearing masks. But again, interesting to see. And last but not least, we've got another picture here with a janitor and a nurse wearing a mask. Really love this corridor. Looks really nice common room. That looks like maybe a study room there as well. So interesting, and just a few more pictures of staff wearing masks. So that wraps up this video looking at all of the new information, new pictures and images from the game, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that if you haven't kind of heard about the DLC too much, or if you don't follow the social media, and if you haven't looked at the Steam page, that you've seen some new bits and bobs. And I really hope it's helped maybe influence your decision of where you're going to buy it or not. I hope to see lots more information coming out within the next couple of weeks. When we do have new information, I will let you guys know. Maybe closer to the time before release, we can have another video looking at any new information. And like I said, guys, please remember to subscribe down below if you haven't already, to make sure that you keep updated as soon as I release any video, because we are definitely going to be having a very, very in-depth look at this brand new DLC for Project Hospital. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you later. Thank you very much for watching the video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel down below if you haven't done so already. And please feel free to follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Have a great day. See you later.